currently at the Kona Coffee Living History Farm in Captain Cook, located in Kona on Hawaii Island. The Kona Coffee Living History Farm preserves the story, the history, the culture of people who helped to jumpstart the Kona coffee industry, so primarily Japanese immigrants. And our farm represents the daily life of Japanese immigrants like the Uchida family from the year 1925 to 1945. And as you explore the farm, it's as if you're stepping back in time to the golden era of Kona coffee. So today we'll explore the farm, and I'll let Jim tell you a little bit about growing and harvesting and processing coffee here in Kona.
It's a long process. Usually starts the beginning of September for the picking. We pick every day for 4 months, 4:30 in the morning until it gets dark in the evening. We'll walk over here, we'll see the different tools that they used. When picking season began, the entire family would be involved in picking. Grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, babies, no one was in the house. Everyone was in the coffee field. Children, as soon as they could walk, 2 years old, 3 years old, would wear a can like this around their neck. They would follow mom, grandma, grandpa. They'd either pick the coffee from the lower branches or pick up the things that the mom and dad had dropped on the ground. This was their contribution. Everybody worked all day. Another tool that they used was this one called the kagi. The kagi was the tool that they developed. You hook the center trunk, you pull, you pull, you pull, you pull, until the tree is down low enough you can work with it. The tree will stay. You still have 2 hands free for picking the coffee from the top of the tree. These flowers bloomed yesterday. They'll stay on the tree for about 1 day. After 1 day, they'll look like this, and you can see the tiny coffee cherries just starting to form. 8 months later, we'll go to the coffee trees, look for the red ones, the ones that just started to turn color. Every coffee bean is still hand-picked. This machine will strip off the red skin that you saw a little while ago. The red skins will come out the back, fall into our compost heap. Following years, they had more money. They put up this building called the kuriba. The kuriba is a processing room, a processing house. They bought the engine from Waterloo, Iowa. You crank this fast enough, hard enough, the engine will catch, which powers the rest of the machinery that's inside the building. The new coffee beans will go into the arai bako, which is over here, looks like a big bathtub. Dad, grandpa would use the water, fill it up, climb in the arai bako and stir that entire slimy, sticky mess up with his legs. Using a skimmer like this, the good beans would be scooped up, the water shaken off. Coffee that came out would fall on a shaker box, and we put the coffee on burlap. The burlap then would go out into the sun. Every evening after you're done picking, the burlap and all the coffee would have to be moved from the drying area underneath the roofs. If it gets wet, it mildews and the coffee is no good. If it's raining, you have to run back as fast as you can, pick it up, put it under the roof again. A very, very creative and ingenious Japanese man then thought up the idea of the hoshidana. The entire roof will slide shut, covering the coffee, keeping the coffee dry, safe from the rain. After the rain stops, a simple push opens the roof again. After about 10 days, the farmer has to check to see if the coffee is dry enough for storage. The final step in his testing is to give it a bite, hard. From this point, it goes up to the coffee co-op. They have a machine that will lightly press this, take off the parchment covering. The green coffee now will go into the roaster. That's when it turns from the green color to a nice black brown color that you associate with coffee. That's when you get the nice aroma and the nice taste.
I'm going to tell you about the house here. It was built in 1925 and occupied until 1994 by 3 generations. Mr. and Mrs. Uchida came from Kumamoto Prefecture, island of Kyushu, in the early 1900s, and they had 5 children here. In Japanese culture, the eldest son stays with the family, so the eldest was a son. His name was Masao. So Masao, his wife, and 3 children stayed here till 1994. On a typical coffee farm morning, mom is in the kitchen and she's cooking rice. So we will go in the kitchen and we'll start cooking. This is the cooking area. The rice pot called a hagama was brought from Japan by Mrs. Uchida, so it's very old, close to 100 years old. I want to quickly show you how the rice is cooked like this, and I just have rice that I just cooked. They invented this little tool to move the rice pot. We use coffee wood to cook. Every day to go with the rice is egg omelet. for protein. They save the chickens for special occasions. Our water source comes from that water tank, and it's rainwater. And we have a filtering system here, which is an old tobacco bag. So everything is used and reused and recycled. Nothing is wasted. Mom makes coffee after she does her cooking. So we have freshly roasted coffee here. And every morning she will grind some coffee. She will grind it so it makes a lot of noise because this is their alarm clock. This house is very special because it has a study room. Mr. Uchida wanted his children to learn. All other homes, no study room. Children just studied on the floor. So the children in this household went to college and the farm closed and became part of the historical society.
Japanese immigrants came here looking for a new line of work, a better life for themselves and for their families. They brought technology and ingenuity that transformed the Kona coffee industry. They adapted their culture to American and Hawaiian customs, and at the same time they created this middle class that transformed the territory of Hawaii back then, but definitely helped establish the state of Hawaii as we know it today.